Earlier Ignatia video, we have seen about how the Ignatia plant look like, which part of the Ignatia has been used, what are the sphere of action, what are the keynote indication, what are the adaptability of Ignatia. In this video, we will see about Ignatia personality, basic disposition of Ignatia, and what are the mental state of Ignatia, how the Ignatia personality evolves, and how Ignatia is different from Nattermure we will see in this video. Ignatia basically indicated for sensitive, delicate girls or hysterical girls, girls who brought up with culture, refined education, highly educated individuals, who is very capable, who grasp things very fast like Phosphorus, the individual who is very quick like Mercurius, Hephaestus and Phosphorus, people who are very clever like Silesia, people who are highly educated or also indicated women of modern day. Because of liberation movement of today's women, they tend to get attached, they tend to fall in relations and they get into the problem. You can imagine such type of individual, present college going girls, present teenagers, present working women who get problems after a relations. All the problems of Ignatia start after a romantic relationship or during her first love affair. She believes the man totally. She tends to fall with love with a wrong person. A student may fall in love with an auto rickshaw driver or a bus driver or a bus conductor, or a student, a girl may fall in love with music teacher. A modern girl may fall in love with her own teacher, or she may fall in love with a married man. She believes him totally. If the man shows little indifference, if he is not attending her calls, if he is showing some kind of indifference, she'll totally become a silent. She's so sensitive, a small mistakes of him will hurt her heart to the core. She'll start brooding, she'll become introverted, she'll withhold all her emotions, she won't talk to anyone, she'll come back home and she close the door and sit silently. And she breaks out into tears and she behaves hysterically at the last. So all the complaints starts after in a romantic relationship. So element from grief. This grief is got too vast meaning in Ignatia. So grief may be after a romantic relationship, grief may be after loss of loved ones. Element from overstrain. Here the grief has been said that a silent grief which is not expressed, a more of acute grief. So chronic grief, long standing grief, where the choice of remedy comes Nattermure. So element from vexation, element from frustrations, most important from is element from breakdown. Mentally she is broken down, which very often expressed deeper inside and to the psychosomatic level, and she may start getting spasms, she may get hysterical problems, she may suddenly collapse, she may become pale, she may become fainting. But the everything is related to a disappointment, everything is related to a breakdown. Because of her relations, because of her grief, she'll not be able to respond, she'll not be able to cry, she cannot share her things to anyone, she keeps her relations very secret deep inside. She will lock the door and she'll sit inside and she'll start sighing and she'll start crying and she'll behave hysterically, like how you see many of the movies. She'll start laughing, she'll start crying. There is variation of moods. There is called a sobbing cry, a deep cry. Feels that she's been cheated in an affair, even though she know that whatever her relation is wrong, but she feels that she's been cheated. She goes to the deep state of shock and she broods. Here the grief is said that is silent grief because no one knows her secret. She talks insanely, she behaves illogically, and all these things slowly leads to a somatic expressions, like she may get a cramps, she may get neuralgias, she may get headache, she may get menstrual irregularity. So it is more of psychosomatic expression. It has been said that the woman, she was perfect and good looking. After a period of grief, she will lose her femininity. There is a change in her physical structure. There may be excessive hair growth in her body, which she never had. There is a change in hormonal level because mentally she's been affected. She becomes highly irritable, she becomes indifferent to everyone, and she will have a irresolution. She is not able to take anything. She is insidely weeping, she becomes very moody, she will have a changeable mood, and at the same time she has got a marked fear of robbers, and she'll start sighing without reason. This hysterical manifestation also expressed that she'll start fainting. She'll faint in the classroom. She'll faint in a crowd. Her memory, she was a brilliant, she was very intelligent person. Her memories start losing. Her performance in the academics are going down. She was the person, she used to mix very well. An outgoing person, she'll now try to become alone. She wants to be alone. She becomes highly hypersensitive for small things. She gets suddenly angry and she finds fault with others. Each and everything she'll find fault. She cannot bear contradiction at all. She doesn't like company, which she never had such behavior earlier. She's a nice person, start quarreling with everyone. She'll have a mood swings. She also has that a deep anxiety within her that she has committed some unpardonable crime, and all these things reflects she makes mistakes while writing, she makes mistakes while talking, and all these are the various expressions of Ignatia. Let us see some difference between Ignatia and Natromure. Ignatia is an acute and Natromure is an chronic. In grief, Ignatia is always silent, of short duration, where Natromure is a chronic grief of years together. Ignatia is very sensitive, hysterical, and brooding silently. Natromure is a long standing silent grief. Ignatia, most of the times, they feel better after consolation, whereas Natromure, their tearful mood, they doesn't like consolation at all. Ignatia will have a hysterical manifestation. Natromure doesn't have that much hysterical manifestation. Instead, they have a guilt feeling. Ignatia, they feel better from exercise and physical exertion, whereas Natromure are worse by exertion. In Ignatia, very often there is a mood swings, like laughter alternates with crying, whereas Natromure, they appear very strong, but they are vulnerable and they are very afraid of being hurt. When the complaints recur and recur of mood swings, recurrent and recurrent depression, sadness, which goes to a chronic state, then the indication of Natromure comes. No doubt, Ignatia and Natromure totally two different individuals, and I'm just discussing about the grief part only.